Do you ever have that neighbor that sends shivers down your spine? Maybe it's their creepy smile or the way they stare at you that gives you the creeps. If you have, you're not alone. But what if I told you that this is not just a simple, scary story? What if I told you that a horrific twist awaits you? It all started when Jane and her husband moved into their new apartment. Their neighbor appeared friendly at first, but after a few weeks, she began to notice some truly unsettling behavior. Her neighbor would stand outside Jane's door at 3 a.m. and just stand there, smiling. But that's not where the horror ended. One day, Jane noticed a strange scent coming from her neighbor's apartment. She thought nothing of it at first, but soon it became unbearable. She tried to talk to her neighbor about it, but she would just smile and wave. Desperate for answers, Jane decided to take a peek inside her neighbor's apartment. What she found was something you'd only see in your worst nightmares. A room filled with hundreds of dolls, all arranged in a circle, and they were all staring at her. It was then that Jane realized that her neighbor wasn't human. She was a doll herself. Jane couldn't believe what she was seeing. She rubbed her eyes, hoping it was a trick of the light, but no, the dolls were still there, staring at her with their soulless eyes. She sprinted back to her apartment, her heart pounding in her chest. She locked the door behind her and leaned against it, trying to calm herself down. Days went by, and Jane couldn't shake the image of the doll room from her mind. She had trouble sleeping, and whenever she managed to drift off, she was plagued by nightmares. One night, at 3 a.m., the familiar scent of the doll room permeated her bedroom. She tried to ignore it, but it grew stronger, and along with it came a sound, the sound of dolls whispering. Jane couldn't take it anymore. She had to confront her neighbor, or whatever it was that lived next door. She put on her robe, grabbed a flashlight, and stepped into the hallway. As she approached her neighbor's door, she could hear the whispers growing louder. She took a deep breath and knocked. There was no answer. She knocked again, but still, no response. She was just about to turn away when she heard something behind her. She spun around, her flashlight illuminating the hallway, and that's when she saw it. Her neighbor was standing at the other end of the hallway, but it wasn't a doll anymore. It had transformed into something else, something that defied explanation. Jane froze. She couldn't move, couldn't scream, couldn't even breathe. The thing that used to be her neighbor started to move towards her, slowly but steadily, and then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, it was gone. Jane was left alone in the hallway, wondering if she had just hallucinated the whole thing. But the scent of the doll room lingered, and she knew it was all too real. From that day on, Jane avoided her neighbor's apartment like the plague, always mindful of the horrors that lay behind that closed door. If you liked the story, share and subscribe for part 2. Always remember to keep the lights on and don't forget to check under your bed. You never know what or who might be hiding in the darkness.